Morning routine for both of us. Start off with a little bit of coffee. Yeah, we're pretty simple folk. We just have a little bit of cereal. Here we go, Jordan Country Crisp. That's kind of our favorite. Although I just like cornflakes too. Monday morning, and it's a beautiful morning. It is 13 Celsius. It's going to get up to 15 again today. The Chateau, it's warmer outside than it is inside the Chateau, so the windows are all fogged up. And it's a great day to work on some windows. Went out, had to go out to the store, pick up a little bit of caulking to do the windows. So I'm ready to go. Also sized up some of the lumber in case we get to fix up that beautiful stables. All right, so I think I mentioned on a previous video, we have some really nice folks from some churches in Seattle who have talked about coming out to help us with the barn. And to prepare for that, I'm kind of speccing out to see how much the wood would cost to do that barn. So I'm gonna take a look. Here we go, for example. Okay, so that's like, you know, that's a nice long 5 meter. That's basically the uprights. If you had to replace any or double any, that's a 5 meter board. It's a little spendy, 20 euro, but it's good to get a ballpark, right? Now, obviously we would price this stuff out, but this is an interesting option. There's been some discussion of degauche metal on the top, and you know, I don't know, you have to think through the look of it. Looks like 11 euro. This is not actually metal. This looks like some type of fiber. Interesting. It's a good size though. It'd be a little less shiny, that'd be nice. And this is metal, right? Yeah, here we go. Metal's a little bit more, but that's pretty, you know, those are big pieces. 2 meters by 1 meter, 34 euro for that. And then of course we have rolls. Now here's, I mean, you'd want black for sure. I'm looking for underlay as well, but it's good just to even get some prices here. So you got 3 meter, no, this is 10 by 1. Where is it here? Oh yeah, okay, so that's 64 euro for a roll of 10 meters by 1 meter. You'd need quite a few rolls, but still, you know, we're not talking about 50,000, we're talking about maybe 20,000. Probably 30 by the time, maybe, who knows. And then they do sell shingles. Let's take a look. Those are red, is that right? That's red 3 by 2, 2 meter. Yeah, okay, so price per square meter, 10 euros, 14 euros. You remember we need about 360 square meters, I've estimated early. So if we want to do it, we can. Of course, we need a lot of plywood. Now I think this is finished plywood, so that's an expensive board, 57 euro for 2.5 meters by 1.2 meters. So that's a 8 by 4, a little bit ish. And 10 meters thick, not very, 10 millimeters thick, so not very thick. And then 75 for the thicker one. But again, these are beautiful pieces of board. We don't need a beautiful board, we just need a functional one. You'll notice the roofers are here working, and so I thought let's go around the back and take a look and see how they're doing. You can see there's still a couple little spots up high on the corners of those towers. And then of course the ridge line is still open, but there's not a lot of rain that comes in there, so that's good. But yeah, they're making progress. I think we'll take a look if they got the tarp off on the back tower, because it's awesome. While we're walking, I'll talk a little minute. Thank you guys so much for your comments on yesterday's video, the 10th. Gonna be honest, I was bracing myself. I thought, you know, it's an uncomfortable subject for folks, and I realize that some people, you know, it could make us, I don't know. I understand the complexity of it. You guys were super gracious, only a couple kind of maybe negative comments, but that's all right. That's gonna happen. You know, that's gonna happen. So I'm super thankful for your response. You know, I was just walking by and then I thought, oh man, I should almost get some video of this. It's just such a beautiful house. Even when you're just walking by it, it's like, oh my goodness. Oh, look at that, you guys. Oh, look at that. That is beautiful. Looks like that side is almost done. Let's zoom in again. This is the one they're working on. Look at that. Maybe there's a bit on the bottom right there. The top is almost completely done. Boy, it looks completely done. They're on the inside. So cool. I've also noticed that they've got the big guy. See the big guy with the red bucket there? There's two there, one's in front of the other. It's kind of almost out in front. I wonder if they're gonna start tearing down stuff off the big tower today. That will be something. I gotta put a time lapse on that. You know, some folks were saying, hey, it's obviously the shots, you want to see shots of DIY and doing stuff. And next year we're going to probably shoot for getting 1 video up a week, maybe 2. And then it'll be a lot easier because obviously you have a week to get something done, so you can get some video. These videos, remember, are coming every day. In fact, we're not even in France 25 days. So there's a couple days we have to do 2 videos a day. And so if you're wondering why there's less action shots, it's just you only have so many hours in the day. So, you know, enjoy if you can, and take a look at the beautiful chateau. We'll do some DIY today. I think Leslie's gonna paint, and I'm gonna switch out, I think, 7 or 8 windows, and here we go. See what I'm talking about? They got this guy ready to go. They got the supports out. He is a big boy, by the way, this guy. Let's take a look in the old bin. Got the bin there for garbage. Or sometimes they put new shingles. Sometimes they work out of that even. And that's gonna go way up there. Several of you have asked, where is Mr. Bingley? And Mr. Bingley is back in the United States with his brother and sister, with David and Kim, and also Amy. But we thought we'd put a picture in just in case you miss him. We miss him. Leslie really misses him, but we'll see him pretty soon. I think we're gonna put that joyful reunion on video for sure.
Check out how green it is. It has rained so much over the weekend, but everything has just drank it up, and it is so green out there today. It looks like it's gonna be nice. The weather is much warmer, which, oof, yay. But every time I look out this window, I don't know if you can see, if you've seen pictures of our past rose garden that used to be there, you can start to see little lines of where the paths were. So for example, you can see right there, see that yellow sort of line? That was all the way down. There's a patch in the middle that was round. It was a little round bed. And then there's paths here and here. So there's 4 lines all the way across. And you can sometimes see it in the winter because the grass doesn't grow quite as well there. And it just is begging to come back. One of these days, I think it'll be fun if we can get some extra hands to try to dig that up and see if we can restore even just the outside path. I think would be spectacular.
Good news. I hear work right above our head. I think they're fixing this leak, which is fantastic because this has been the worst one lately. So when you're taking on a big project, like a big house like this, and actually when I built a good part of the beach house, it really helps to have, I don't know, task-related tool belts or buckets. For me, I'm just using pails right now, but I'm gonna have some good Home Depot ones coming in a bit. And so this is my window changing pail. And so I got all the stuff you might need. You know, you're gonna need a pail to put the broken glass, little step ladder maybe to get up. You're gonna need a screwdriver or something to go along the bottom and clear out the line for the new window. This one's quite wet. You know, you're gonna need a little pliers because there's these little metal, let's see, where's one? Here's one. I'm doing this with the wrong hand, but I'm left-handed. You're gonna have to take out those little metal nails there. You need little pliers. And then of course, the caulking gun. And this guy's great too. This is in case the window doesn't quite fit or something's wrong, you can just kind of go like this and edge it out a little bit, give a nice line. So, and then of course gloves. You need gloves because you're working with glass. So great to have the pail. You just bring the one pail and you take it to each window and it gets to be quite efficient. Okay, that took a minute, but we definitely got a good fit. It's real tight. That's kind of your biggest gap right there, but we'll get caulking on both sides of that. And this is maybe the tightest area. I probably could have brought that down a little bit more, but good enough, good enough. Here we go. See if it fits. One up nice and close. See if this is gonna fit. Oh, I should have brought that little glass thing we got now. Oh, it's too big, eh? That's okay, we'll just get the trimmer out and we'll...
So close.
In some ways, bigger is better than smaller because if it's small, then it's really hard to make it stick.
It's true.
So it's okay on the side. The window's not quite straight, which makes it...
No, I know, and the trim isn't.
So if the window was straight, we'd be okay, but it is not, so we're gonna have to trim a little bit.
This is our little breakfast kitchen that's off the main morning room where people come and hang out and eat food, and the breakfast room and things like that. So this little tiny kitchen has worked really well for breakfast and kind of like a butler's pantry almost. So it's been great. However, it was kind of this soft yellow, which is fine. And I haven't bothered with it because there's been other things that have been more in need of our attention. But when we had some friends here stay in the fall, they were very generous and said, hey, do you want me to paint this? And I said, sure. So they got the first coat on, and it's good, but it needs a second. But they kind of ran out of paint. So I'm gonna clean up some of the edges, put on another coat, and finish it up. I have big plans for this little space eventually, because the laminate top is kind of not doing great, and functionally this could work so much better for us. Where this oven is now is where there used to be a dumbwaiter, if you can imagine, which I would very much like to use again. It's actually downstairs off the hallway in the basement, and I would love to see that put back in. We don't really use the oven up here very much, except for maybe December when we're here, but maybe one little oven, but then really the top cooker, maybe we don't need so much. But I would love to see more storage and just make it kind of cuter overall. There's a few of my little wallpaper samples of inspiration as I'm trying to figure out what could be fun in here. And first up, let's get things repainted so that we can enjoy it for when we're back. If you don't paint very much and you have some molding and things like that you're trying to really get into the little nooks and crannies of it all, here's a little tip. A 2-inch tapered brush, can't live without it. Otherwise, it's just gonna be terribly hard to accomplish. You can see here, they just started cutting in a little bit. You can see that sort of light yellow kind of still faded in the background. So being able to get in all of these little nooks and crannies, terribly important. And my trick is you do the interior first so that you can get inside all of the edges and kind of clean those up right away. Let's see if I can get it in there. Then you come back in with the trim color, and then you can really clean that up great. But meanwhile, all these little nooks and cracks get filled in with paint, making it look much, much cleaner and tidy so that other things don't get stuck inside of it.
That is such a beautiful lift, right over the top and then down into the middle. You can see them up there. And it's great that they're doing this at the end, because now they're good at going next to things without hitting them. And not that they ever hit them, I'm just saying it's probably easier as you get used to it. Cutting something, no idea what. Because I can't see them, maybe the top. Imagine they're trying to get those corners.
So this is what I was talking about. For some of you, you've already seen us show you this. I'm really grateful for the past owners who have left these here. This is a brochure actually from the 80s. Remember how when we were just in the stables, we saw a sign or two for it? Well, this was their brochure. And let me show you inside. I can do it with one hand. This is that. Isn't it great? So now you can see what I was talking about with the side paths and the circle flower bed and the urns. Same urns are there. Isn't that great? So I was thinking, even over time here, it would be nice just to get the, maybe the, not the far outside one, but the inside shape path, and maybe around the circle. We'll start with that. I would love to see that happen. That makes it not quite so hard for the guys to mow, but it still gives us some of the cool rose garden factor. And then over time, I will try to propagate some roses and find some good deals. They do have great sales on roses here. As you can see, there were roses in each quadrant. And of course in each of the trellises, the obelisks on the side. Some of them are still there, as you can see, and you remember from the summer. Some of them are gone, so some of them need replaced. And I'm still sort of trying to figure out which ones they are at the stores to make sure we try to have the same ones that go all the way around. Some of them are brighter red, some of them are kind of orangey red even. So I don't know, maybe they were replaced over time and didn't get it quite right. I'm not sure. But either way, we'll try and see what we can do to find some things that will fill in. I think there's about 4 or 5 of them that don't have roses in them already, and bit by bit, we'll just keep plugging away at it.
And this was a find. We were driving by our favorite apple juice store, and here we were able to stock up, get a couple cases. When the students come, we'll come by 10 cases. Like we'll buy a few $100s because it is so good, and it's from right next door. Good times. A bonus for living in France. Certainly hope this is not a long line. Oh, you. I'm gonna wreck this thing.
Here's the pear. I look forward to that. Awesome. Yay. So only sometimes can we see down this hall. I'll give you an example of where we are. So there's one bedroom. And this is the middle, where the landing is. Now if you turn around, only when the sun is very bright from this bedroom can you see all the way down. And then actually see down here. And I can see all the marks on the upholstery that was probably from moisture. And you can see how dirty the cove molding is. And even that, whatever that's about in general. But often these hallways are so dim that you miss out on some of this stuff. So that's a bummer. However, I have plans on how to make this back corner charming. So I look forward to doing that at some point. A nice mirror and a table, or an armoire and a mirror, something like that. I think it'd be fantastic. And brighten up the end of the corridor. It's Monday morning. In my house growing up, that meant laundry. So even though we don't have a ton with 2 of us, it's nice to keep with a routine. Now, just out of interest, some of you might already know this. However, in case you ever are traveling abroad and need to use laundry facilities, they take a long time. So in this case, we're gonna do one of the shortest, and it's 2 hours to wash. That's normal. If you're gonna do cotton, 3 hours. Delicate's an hour, which is nice. There is one rapid 20-minute, which sometimes we have to use because drying takes a while. Sports stuff, and of course, sheets and duvets and things like that. The anti-allergy one, 4 hours to wash, if you can imagine. So anyways, I usually go on synthetics because it kind of covers a bunch of combos of fabrics, and 2 hours is sort of average on here is in general. So the nice thing is they have auto dose, which is, I really appreciate. You put it in once, which I know we have that in North America. The one thing that is interesting is that on the dryer itself, there is much different settings. So for example, 2 hours to dry on that one, 3.5 for cotton. Cotton Eco is more. 3 hours for sheets and things like that. Denim, another 3 hours. So if you combined those together, you would have for sure 4.25 hours. And that's sort of the best general combo, unless you do the 20-minute guy. Now, the thing that's interesting is that in here, when you pull this out, see how there's water in there? It's like a reservoir. So in North America, we have it routed to drain out somewhere or other, outside of our house. And here you have to manually take it out, drain it, or like pour it out into the sink, and then you pop it back in. Otherwise, it'll just keep going round and around and around, not drying at all. So anyways, your little 2 tips for doing laundry in case you're ever traveling abroad and wonder, why are my clothes not drying? Or why did they take so long?
All right, it's Sunday, and a lot of things are not open on Sunday, including restaurants. So we always like to, you know, we're going to church, we may as well go to a restaurant. We're going to try this place out. It's sort of, I believe it's a chain. It's Italian, and it's close to the mall and also to the church. Here we go. Kind of fun, eh? Good pieces right up front. Yeah, so we got a nice little appetizer here. And one thing that's a little different about Europe is the beverage that comes with the menu formula is wine. So that's, you don't see that in America probably. Looks good. Let's give it a go. Tell me when you serve. Looks like we got some good food. I got the chicken pizza polo, and Leslie got the gnocchi polo.
Yeah, we both got the same thing. That's
Chicken.
Right. Yep. Looks good.
All right, dessert. The dessert is here, and it looks like panna cotta, which is not my favorite, but hopefully one of us will like it. Hopefully, there's two of them. That's thoughtful.